Right people, so today on this really miserable wet day, it's properly grim out here. We've got another quad to show you. This one is a 2015 again, same as the 550XR, 450i fuel injection. This is quite a tidy bike, as you can see. Racks etc. are nice and clean. Plastics are fairly clean. Got a few bigger scratches sort of here, and I think there's a little split at the back, but overall for a bike that has been on a farm, it's quite well looked after. I got this from the same place as the 550XR. It was a sort of package deal. We had a few of them lately for some reason. The Brewing came in one of them package deals, so this is a bike that I didn't massively want for myself, but it was a buy both or buy none sort of scenario. But as I say, it's turned out quite well. It's really quite a nice bike. Front tyres are nice and beefy. These are BKT wing tyres. These are really quite expensive. This one has had a repair in it, but it seems to hold air just fine. The other one on the other side doesn't appear to have any repairs. The back tyres are the originals. These are Pathfinder tyres, which Arctic Cats, excuse me, newer Arctic Cats are equipped with as new. As you can see, it's a 450. It says that quite a few places on this bike. This one is also, like the 550XR, road legal. It's on a 65 plate again. This particular one is Agri Reg, not PLG Reg. So technically you shouldn't drive it more than a few miles from your home, although a lot of people do. You could, I believe, change it to PLG fairly easily because it's got the full road legal kit on, indicators on each side, brake lights, etc. But I'm no expert on that. It's got the 50mm hitch on it and 2-inch receiver, independent suspension all round. It's quite a well equipped little bike, to be fair. CVT automatic transmission as you expect. It's got low range on it, higher in reverse obviously. It's got hydraulic brakes all round, front and rear. This is the handbrake as well on this particular model. This has a what I believe is a dealer fitted extra in a cable operated rear handbrake. But the pads on that are no good, and I'm not sure if I'm going to remove it or not. Because it's a dealer fitted extra, I can't seem to find the parts for it. So I'll either put new pads in it or remove it, because this is the factory handbrake. It's got the road legal mirrors as well. What else has it got on here? It's fuel injected, I think I've said that previously. But it's quite a pokey bike. It's got 33 horsepower. So it really does move for a little 450. Seat is in tidy condition, other than this little unfortunate split at the front. But if anybody wanted to have that recovered, that would be very easy to do, as there's no damage to the foam. But you know, most people use it as it is, to be honest, if they're using it as a working quad. I've not had to do hardly anything to this. I've changed oil in it because this bike had been sitting as a trade-in at the dealer for 2.5 years. They had it up at a ridiculous price. I'm surprised they did that. They'd never sold it at the price it was at. So in reality, this bike has only got about 3.5 years worth of use on it, because it's obviously barely 5 years old. It's got this curious little steering lock function. I haven't tried that out yet, but it looks like you can physically lock the steering. I'll give that a go after, perhaps. As you can see, there's the new oil filter I've put on it. I'm going to put a new plug in it as well, because these fuel injected ones, it is a decent fuel injected system. I'd much rather have this than the carbureted bike, but it's not the most sophisticated fuel injection system. You can still adjust the idle by hand, if you know what I mean, and it doesn't like to be just, you know, started with a lot of throttle, because it'll flood itself. So I'm going to put a new plug in it. This doesn't have any issues at all, don't get me wrong, but that's just something I've been advised to do with the dealer. What else have we got to show you? There's no play in any of the suspension. I've already jacked it up and had a look. There's nothing at all. Oh yeah, the screen. So as I say, this had been sitting for 2.5 years, and it'd been sitting for a couple of months outside previous to me buying it. And these Arctic Cat screens, they have two little function buttons here that have a rubber cap on, and one of the rubber caps was unfortunately missing. So when I put power to it to get it started up, that gauge lasted about 10 minutes before it shorted out, because it was full of water, which I didn't realise because it had all sunk to the back of the pod. So unfortunately the gauge that it came with is no good, but I've got one on order. Did manage to read the mileage before it died, and it was 3,600 miles, and I think it had done something like 700 hours. The replacement screen that's coming is showing 3,800 miles, so it's close enough. Switchable 2 and 4 wheel drive. Yeah, just an all-round nice little bike really. There's not a lot to say on it. I didn't have to do a lot to it, but I just thought it might make an interesting video. It's quite one thing that I do really quite like is that there's no UJs at all on this bike. The engine has been aligned very well whenever they designed it. So you've got a straight shaft on the back and also a straight shaft on the front. So you don't have to worry about UJs going bad on it, at least. So yeah, as I say, not a lot to say on it, but quite a tidy little bike. If anybody's interested in this, let me know. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to sell it for yet. I've seen it been advertised at ridiculous prices, like several thousand, but I'm not going to put £4,000 or something on it. It'll be, I don't know, it'll be less than 3. But you know, if you're interested, drop me a comment and we can discuss it. I say it's sold as it is. I don't know that much about it. I've ridden it, as you can see. I'm quite far away from my house now. I've driven it about 15-20 mile, and it all seems to be functioning correctly. I'll show you it fire up. She's quite quiet. No real issues as far as I can tell. As I say, doesn't smoke. Sounds really quite smooth, to be fair, actually. But yeah, really nice little bike. So I'll see you in the next one.